Right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kazim Adegboyega, and you're welcome to our today's webinar on Microsoft Azure and Microsoft Power Platform. So today we're going to be talking about Power Platform on today's webinar, to be precise, Power BI. And today's topic is on using Power BI for stocks, real estate, and economic data analysis. And I've got Michael on the show today. I've got Michael on the webinar today that is going to be walking us through today's topic. So Michael is a Microsoft MVP, six-time MVP, and Michael is very big on data when it comes to data analysis. So Michael, you're welcome on today's webinar, Michael.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mr. Kazim, and it's a pleasure to be here today. And hello to everybody. So I'll try to make it a very interactive one. Okay.
Oh, okay, Michael. So it's over to you now, Michael.
Okay. So I'm going to take us through a very interesting use of Power BI. You know, a lot of times we see people when we talk about using data and analyzing our data. Too many people think of, okay, maybe my company data, maybe my business data, maybe, even this COVID-19 data. People think about some very set areas that they think of using their data, right? But then today I'm going to show you another interesting part, something that we all have had to worry about and think about. So how about using, Power BI or any tool, but in this case, I'm going to demo with Power BI because it's very easy, which you will see. Your rent data, you want to you want to change your house, or you need to help someone in deciding where to move to. So how about analyzing that in Power BI and seeing trends? And if you are someone into real estate, how about knowing which lands to invest in and what the real estate market is like? That's what we're going to walk through today. So this is the first of all, let me show you what the data looks like. And so I'm going to start from the one that all of us can easily relate to. So this here I have the list of tables of data around the real estate. So this is real estate for sales data. Someone in my team has been gathering it. Then equally I have for rental. So again, another person in my team has been gathering it. And in your own case, if you need it and you don't have someone to gather, there are those listing sites, they sell them. It's just because this is what we do. So we have been gathering them for about a couple of months now. So these are the data. Notice this is in Google Sheets. So those who feel Power BI cannot, is a Microsoft product, cannot talk to a Google product, you are in for a surprise. So you see how, as people are entering new, my team members are entering new data into this Google Sheet, it will flow into my report. So this is one of the real estate rent data, the real estate listing data. And then the third category of data is something that is stored in a database, something that we get directly sort of from the Nigerian Stock Exchange, which deals more with the stock exchange, with those of you are familiar with stock exchange, like companies that are trading, what they are selling at, whenever you read in the news that, oh, the Nigerian Stock Exchange is bad, has gone down, has gone up, it's investors are making money. These are the things that reflect them. And this, for us, we have them saved in a database. So we are going to be using two different types of data sources. And one interesting thing, this is about 1 million plus rows. Okay, so I'm going to show you quickly how I am able to connect to these data sources, how I'm able to easily, start with doing what I want to do in very few minutes. Okay, so because of the time it takes to do the connection, so I have recorded the step so that when I'm loading the data, it doesn't take too much time for you to see. I can fast forward. That's the advantage of recording that step part. So just for like 3 minutes, then I will pick up from past the recording. Okay, so the moment you launch Power BI, which is You know, you just have it installed and you launch it. It's a free tool. You will see this get data area. So that's where I'm going to go and pick the SQL data. So the moment I click on that SQL server, it asks me for the connection details. So I go and then I copy out my connection details, and then I go back to Power BI, and then I paste it, and it will ask for the database name. So obviously you will be connecting to something that you have access to. So I put in the connection details. In your own case, it will ask you for username and password. In my case, because I use this database a lot, that's why it remembers my credentials, and then I'm able to go pick the particular table, which is that stocks data table. And so right now it's displaying it. I'm going to tell it to just load the data directly into Power BI for me. Okay, so I click on load, and it will start its work. Like I mentioned, it's about a million plus, 1,670, no, 1,067,000. So this is, it started, I'll jump now, I'll skip. So I will cut out, say, like some 15 minutes. See, it has skipped. And then let's check again. I've skipped a bit, another number of minutes, and then you'll see very soon it's completed. So like I said, it's a very straightforward task. Just connect to your data. Many of you already know how to connect to Excel. So now it's done bringing in all of that data for the SQL. So I'm going to bring in the other one just to let you see what the data looks like, and to let you understand that it's over 1 million plus rows. You know, so you can see, okay, and I'm underlining that right now for you to really understand the power behind it. And you can use it for data that is even a lot more than this. Okay, so now let's bring in the Google Sheet data. So the Google Sheet data, we're going to bring it in. And it's very interesting. All you just do is you copy the link, though there's a bit of a twist to how you paste it in, which I will show you anyway. So I copy the link, and then I'm going to go and paste it in Power BI, and tell Power BI that I want to grab it as a web data. So Power BI can also connect to a web data source. When I say web, like a website, you know, something that you have just the URL for. So that's what I'm doing right now. So I click on web, and I want to go, and I think I didn't copy it completely, so I'm going to recopy it. I have it in a notepad anyway, so I'm going to just copy, yes, and then I paste, and then I tell Power BI to go ahead, and it will show me all of the sheets I have in that Google Sheets. Okay, so sheet 1, sheet 2. What I need is in sheet 1, and voila. So this is Google Sheet displaying right inside of Power BI. So there are some issues with this. So I'm going to tell it I want to transform. You know, so I'm not going to load. I would rather say I need to fix some issues. So transform the data for me. So when I do transform, it takes me to the aspect of Power BI, which we call Power Query. As you can see at the top left is Power Query, where I'm going to take out some things that are not supposed to be there, do a bit of some adjustment. So we will come back to this anyway. So let's go bring in the other one, the second data source. So I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to again go back to that get data, and then web, and I paste in the new link, similar experience, and transform data. So with this done, I can immediately start. So this is the end of the recorded part, because that's the part that takes a lot of time, you know. So I had to record it to be creative with with that approach. So I'm now, so that's what you've seen, huh? This is it. Going to, okay, close the recording, and I hope I had not closed the, oh my god, I closed the real one, so I'm just going to open it again. The good thing is, because I've done it and saved it, it's not going to take time to open. So this was where we stopped with the bringing in the data, which it's loading now. Okay, so I brought in the stocks data, the real estate data. So I mentioned that the real estate data, I need to do some cleaning on it, right? So in the video that you were, I just walked you through the process of me bringing in the data. This was where I stopped. So this is coming up. So this was the first Google Sheet that I brought in, that I mentioned to you that I will need to do some cleaning transformation on it. So let's start with that. If you have any question, please just keep piling them up. I will try to be fast. I think this 12 minutes gone. So I've done some bit of dry run, some rehearsal, so I think I'm still within time. I don't need this. I don't need this. This is just to track the name of my team member that is filling in the information. So these are not really needed for the actual report making. So I'm going to select them, right click here and say remove these columns. It's as easy as that. I don't need them. And then I'm going to, just to make sure I'm getting the most current view of this, because like I tell you, it's a live report. I have people updating them, and I think they updated them some moments today. So I'm just making sure by doing this, I'm making sure that I am getting the most updated version for my demo, okay? And then you will notice that at the top of all of at the top here, I'm having the field names and some things showing like ABC, ABC. So that's helping me to identify the data type. And then I'm noticing that my date is actually showing in a very funny way. So the date, looks like I've pressed, okay. I'm going to, okay, my keyboard my mouse ceased there, so I had to toggle. So if you look at this date over here, I'm going to tell you that it's a date. So that's another very interesting thing about the whole thing. You can easily say, okay, you know what, this thing is meant to be a date. So I'm going to just complete that step and say this is a date. Okay, so that is done. And any other thing that needs to be fixed here, let's just all of us look at it together. The state is looking good. So now I feel happy with what I'm seeing. Then I'm going to just rename it to real estate listings. A name that makes a better sense than just the sheet one that it inherited from the Google Sheet. And then I go to the second one, which is the rental ones, you know, the houses in different places in Nigeria, the areas, you know, the estates, the type of house. Is it a duplex? Is it a flat? How many rooms are there? How many toilets? You know, those are the things people worry about. Maybe for ladies, they might be like, what's the size of the kitchen? But, well, we have to stick to what, if we want to satisfy the ladies, we are not going to gather enough information. So we just have to pick what is we can get from every house listing, and then is there a BQ and what's the annual rent. So again, looking at all of these, anything here looking not the way it should be. I think this looks really clean out of the box. The date is showing as date, you know, that's what this calendar icon shows. And then the things that are numbers are showing as 1, 2, 3. So yes, this looks really good. I don't think I need to do any more changes on this. It's just to call this real estate rental. Real estate rent. Okay, And that is what I mean by me doing transformation. It doesn't have to be some elaborate transformation, but whenever you feel some things are not right with your data, then you will typically do what I'm doing. So when you are done with the transformation, which we got to by clicking on transform data, if you remember that step, I clicked on the transform data and it brings me here. So I'll do close and apply, and then I'll be back to the main reporting window where, I'm going to be able to do all of the analysis, the cool charts, the kind of things we want to see, right? Okay, so it's, applying those changes I've done, and uh, you can see it's saying it's connecting to the Google Docs, it's bringing everything, and voila. So I think all is set. Uh, oh, there's something I need to do that I think I have not done. Let's just verify what our data looks like. Huh? I've already shown you what the stocks one looks like, so it's displaying here right now. Let me see if you can see my screen. Okay, so I've already shown you this during the connection part. This is the one that maybe you've not had to take a look at, and so this, and I just want to be sure some things as they should be. So if I expand, if you click on this drop down, you will see now I have blanks in there. So blanks mean empty records, records that maybe people had not completely finished filling. So I'm going to just quickly go back. It's those blanks that are showing here now that you see a whole lot of blanks and you're wondering, are there no data here? Did I bring in an empty? So I need to go and remove those blanks. So that brings us to another interesting part. I just click on this transform data, and then I'm going to knock off those blanks. So I'm going to come back here and tell Power BI that please do not bring in empty data for me because they won't be useful for my analysis. So anything people have not, my team member has not finished working on, do not bring it in. So I think with that part done, then instead I'm doing it, I'm just clicking don't bring in null. So with that part done, we are good. So right now I'm just at the nick of time because I have now 12 more minutes for just the demo, the real report building. So again, the good thing is this part will not take time because it's a fairly small table. Okay. Good. And so what kind of analysis would we like to do? Let us start with the stocks one, right? So if you are someone interested in the stock market, what kind of analysis would you like to see? I tell you, people like to be able to check different companies because there are different companies trading on the stock market. So what am I doing? I'm putting in something called a slicer. So this thing allows me to say, you know what, pick what you are interested in. It's like a filter, interactive, filter. You can pick different countries, different, in this case, different companies. So I'm going to say, all right, I want you to choose the company that you want to, check out their performance and see if it will make a good investment. So I drag, it's called symbol in my data here. So this is a Access Bank, this is Academy, like different companies. So what I'm going to do is, in the stock market, this data I have, I want it to limit to just the equities because it also captures bonds. You can see it captures the bonds are the debts. So if you are a bond trader, that is good. It captures mutual fund. So it captures a whole lot of data, even the OTC over the counter transactions. I'm going to just tell it to stick to equity, and let's see, maybe I also include premium listings. So with that done, I now have those companies showing here. So what kind of analysis will I like to do? I want to see the price action, like how has these companies been doing price wise? Is the stock going up? Is it going down? Is it up and down? I can be able to compare two companies and see which one to invest in. So I'm going to say I want to see over the dates. So I dragged in a line chart and I say I want to see, for different dates from as far back as I have the information. I want to see what the price is. And then I want to see, this price that I'm picking, I want to see for different companies. Okay, so now I have to go and specifically pick the company I'm interested in. So I'm going to say, let's pick the bank that almost everyone has an account with. So banks like GT Bank, First Bank, Zenith. So I've seen GT, so let's just pick GT for now. And the moment I pick GT Bank, you see what happens? It shows me the price movement. So if you are someone who has invested in GT Bank, you will see how your stock has been performing, and you'll be able to see if, you know, it's up right now or it's down, going by the history. So right now, this is a lot of dates. This is showing from as far back as 2000 to 2020. What if I want to control the date? So what if I want to say, I just want to see for the last 5 years, or from the moment I bought the stock. So again, I'm going to do another slicer, but this slicer I'm going to say I want to just be able to choose dates. So I want to be able to choose, I want to be able to choose. Interestingly, can you see that it understood that I've dragged the date kind of information into the slicer, and it has given me like a timeline, which makes a lot of sense for dates, right? So I'm going to just bring that up there and leave it up there, and I'm going to maybe just move this one a bit down so that there is space enough for everything I have on the screen right now. So with this, you can be able to say, 2000 is really too far back. Let's just see from 2007 to right now what is happening. So the most recent information we have is May of May 13th, yesterday. Today is not yet over. Okay, that should be 2 days back. I think I downloaded these like yesterday. So you can see that, and like that, you can begin to adjust the timeline, and you see how the stock has been doing over that particular period. So that's good. Then another thing people like to see is, okay, can I see the, it gained 5%, it lost 5%, all of those kind of gain and loss history. So I'm going to again put in a line chart. No, let's use a column chart to really look really nice. I'm going to use a column chart. So I'm going to put in again the dates in axis, and then I'm going to say the price change. So that's what I've been using to track. It gained 5%, it gained 2%, it lost 2%, again, those kind of information. So I put the price change here, and no, not price close, price change. Price change. Great. So you can see it's showing me, the up and down, it gain, it lost. So when it gains, it's up here now, it's above 0. Then when it loses, it's, below. So what if I want the losses to be like red, gains to be like green? Interesting. So I go here and I tell Power BI that I want to change the data color. You know what? I want to use a rule. So I click on that FX. So I tell Power BI that, I want you to let whenever the thing gain, which is like a positive above 0%, So I'm going to say I want a rule, and so whenever this thing gains, gain means is above 0, and gain in terms of the price change. So price change, when it's a gain, I want you to give it a color green. Let me go look for color green. Yes, this shiny green. Then I also want you to tell me when it's a loss. So when it's a loss is like less than 0 anyway. So when, not a percentage. Good. So when it's a loss, I want it to be red. So I want it to be, let's look for a really thick red. Yes, I think this looks really red, red, very red. Okay, and let's see if that works. Hey, voila. So this is good. So right now you can pick any company and you see the trend. So let's go try another company. Let's try Zenith. Then maybe we'll try another bank. So Zenith, and you see, voila, oh, the people who invested here must be crying right now, huh? Because it has never gone back that up. So that's that part. And so let's
Michael,
go.
sorry.
Yes.
How about we try Lassus CVT?
You guys are not yet up there in the stock exchange. So when you make it
Okay.
possible for us to also invest in Lasso CBT, yeah, I'll be glad to check it out. So I'll be able to see how much my money is doing. And then if it's going up, I can come and visit you with a bottle of wine. But if it's going down, I'll wear a hoodie and maybe I'll come and threaten you. So
Okay. Sorry to disrupt
in
you. Yeah.
in the next 4 minutes, I'm going to just show you what cool thing we can do with the real estate one. So let's do the real estate one. Huh? So for the real estate one, when you say real estate now, there's always this. I didn't say I want to delete it. Hmm. It looks like something else is controlling my. Okay. So when we talk about real estate, you always think location, location, location. So when we talk about location, 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 things that has to be pegged to a location, map is the really cool visual to you. So I'm going to go here and say I want a map. So I'm going to put in a map. So if you're looking for a house to rent, maybe you don't like your neighbors anymore, you just want to move up anyway, and this is even a good time to look for houses. Houses are now renting cheap. Well, I don't want to say thanks to COVID because it's not a good thing for everybody generally, but for you trying to rent a house, it can be a good thing. Huh? Just now is a good time. So I drag state to location. Huh? And it's intelligent enough to know that, oh, these are names of places in Nigeria. Please don't let anything go wrong. So it will know that these are places in Nigeria. And can you see map of Nigeria has come up, and it should come up better than this. Well, anyway, I'm going to continue. So as I'm this, okay, yeah, I've been this is what I'm expecting. You show the names of the places, and then we can try to say, let us see what the annual rent is like. Huh? So I drag rent to size, and the places are where the rent is like up there in the sky. You will see the circles will be bigger. So I want you to take a guess. Where do you think the circles are going to be big? Where do you think the circles are going to be small? Have you guessed? Hold that guess in your mind, and then let's check if what you are thinking is what is real. Voila, Lagos. So let's just check. Let's do something. Huh? Let's say it should do for us average rent. So I'm going to say average rent. So again, let's check it. It's going to, and then surprise, surprise. It looks like Abuja beats Lagos, huh? Well, that's the truth. In Abuja, houses are really expensive. In Lagos, all the houses that are expensive are in just one side of Lagos. Then I'm seeing some things really interesting. So by the time you start seeing these, your ideas begin to come up in your mind and you keep checking. Okay, that's interesting. So if you're in Lagos and you are not, and you can telecommute, maybe you will just go and rent your house in your state or Ogun State, not too far off, and you save on rent. So if I drag just to make the colors show differently, huh? If I put the states again in legend, so that way it becomes a lot more visual. And then I can decide to say, what if I want to choose by house type? So, is it a duplex? Is it a, so let's do that. So I drag slicer. So you notice from something, I'm beginning to use slicer a lot because slicer gives the user control, makes the user to be able to control his perspective and say, you know what, I just want to see for houses that are, of this type, or houses that have 4 bedrooms, those kind of information. Huh? I can see some of my team members, they don't know how to spell flat again. The flat has 2 F's. But anyway, that's what it is. So if you pick a duplex, then things begin to change drastically in the graph, I hope. Did you notice any change? Let's try flat. Yeah, it's changing, right? And then you can even say how many rooms, So I can put another slicer, and I think my time is up right now. Let's just drag that number of rooms anyway. So number of rooms, I can even put, does it have a BQ? All those information, I can, and you see something, huh? The number of rooms is showing up in a way that I can drag. In this case, I don't want to drag. Huh? I just want to pick a specific number of rooms. So I can say, I can do a drop down and say, you know what, I just want to see the number of rooms. I'm interested in just like some houses have 7 rooms. That's serious. Must be the old, like grandfather, great grandfather, like all the generations living in the house. So those are it anyway. So I think it's time for question and answer. So in your question and answer, I can elaborate on any other thing you are interested in. So let me just save this. So, Sakazim.
Thank you
Over.
so much, Michael. Thank you very much for the powerful presentation. So at this point, I'm going to pass it on now to Aiza. Aiza, are you there?
Yes, cousin, I'm here.
Yes, so you can take people's questions, and I'm sure there are messages you would like to also pass across to see. So I'll just hand it over to you now, Aiza.
Right. Thanks, cousin. Good morning to everyone. This is Oiza here. Unfortunately, you can't see my face like you can see for the others. Well, we're working from home, so that's why. I trust you all been safe and you've enjoyed the session with Michael. Honestly, I don't think it gets any better than this. So
Or
at this
Aiza, even
point,
if you're working at home, we should be able to see your face, shouldn't we?
unfortunately, this is an advantage for me. No, thank you. Right. So you can put up your questions in the Q&A box, and I will get to them. I will get to read them. But before they come in, I would just like to take you through a few things that we have. So this session by Michael has been very free and very informative. But it would be nice to have like a background and follow up to this. So at last CBT 18, we're having a bootcamp session next month, June, a 2-day session between the 24th and the 25th of June for another Power BI training. It will be titled Power BI and Dashboards for the Busy Professional, aka you and me. So it'll be very, very, good for people to sign up and to attend. That it will be. We're looking, well, I mean, depending on how the situation in the country goes, it could be online or live in person, but we're very likely going to have it online as instructor-led online course. So I'm going to give you the link for that, where you can get information and you can see the course outline. That will be www.lastocbt18.com/bootcamp. That's where you're going to get the course outline, delivered by Michael also, just to follow up. I'm sure you've enjoyed his session. I don't think I've lacked this much and gotten enough information like I have today. So you can get there and register and book your seats for that training. He mentioned telecommuting, and I have to throw this in. If you're having to telecommute, we have a Tech Talk Wednesday show for telecommuting on our YouTube channel, which is Tech Talk Wednesday with Kazim on YouTube. We also have a host of other sessions that we've had there, where you can rewatch all of our Tech Talk and every other thing that we've had. So for that, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. So for the training, which is very, very important, you will get to have background information on all that Michael has talked about today. It gives you better understanding. You will have better time to get how to import your data, and then transform your data so that it's you can clean it and have it as presented as you want. Publish and use the dashboards and the Power BI service. Also, how to have artificial intelligence in Power BI. So you have all of that, and this is 80,000 naira, and which is very, very discounted at this point. I mean, again, I can't laud Michael's accomplishments. at being a 6-time Microsoft MVP. So this is very, very good. Also, I've attended one of Michael's courses actually on financial modeling. Again, one of the best. So this is going to be very advantageous for people. And if you need more information, you can reach us on any of our channels or any of our contacts, or call me. I hope I'm not speaking too quickly. I'm trying to catch the time. Right. So you can call me on 070-866-81042. That's my number. I think this session is going to be available, offline, so you can rewatch it and pay better attention to it. I'm trying to see if we have any questions now. I don't see any questions.
I have a question. I have a quick question for Michael. Yes, people will be able to rewatch this on YouTube. So in a few minutes, it's going to be offline. It's going to be up on YouTube. So the channel on YouTube is LasuCBT18. So it's LasuCBT18 across the social media channels. So if they'd like to see what's happening at the LasuCBT on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, is LasuCBT18. So, Michael, again, thank you so much for the powerful presentation. So I want to ask, do one need to have any form of background to be able to appreciate those course? To be able to do all of this nice looking graphics dashboard that you've shown to us now. Do I need to have, is there a prerequisite to this, Michael?
The truth is there is none. There is none. As long as you are computer literate, like you can boot up the PC, you can, work with the mouse and the keyboard. That's all there is. But then there are advantages to if you already have ideas of what you would like to do. So if I'm a banker or I work in the financial services sector, then it would be nice that I have ideas of what are meaningful for me to analyze. So for that kind of a person now, you might like to analyze maybe something like what I've just done now, companies or people's transactions. But then say maybe I work in a restaurant, maybe I work in all these fast food chains, then what I would like to analyze would be different. So the truth is, all what I'm doing, anybody can learn it. A 9-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 14-year-old, where there's now is the application. So if I now want to apply it in a way that it gives value, then you will want to be knowledgeable in that aspect. I can't just come to CBT and say, you know what, I want to do for you some really awesome dashboard, and I don't have any idea what your business is about. I don't have any idea what's important to you. That's not going to be really value generating. So that's just the only thing I would say, that it helps when you have ideas of where you want to apply it, and then maybe you have the data you need. But as for what to do, all these things I'm doing, you can do a lot more than them and learn how to do them in.
Okay, I think
hold on,
Michael.
cousin. One moment, cousin, please.
Okay.
If you look in your Q&A box, you will find a form. It's a feedback survey form. We would really appreciate it if you're able to take the time to fill it, so that we understand where we need to improve and make the sessions better. This webinar is, happens every 2 weeks, and it's very free and very helpful and informative. So we look forward to having you once again. Over to you again, cousin.
All right. So I think there's a drop in Michael's connectivity there, but this marks the end of the webinar today. So join us again in 2 weeks. That's the last Friday of the month. It's going to be about Azure in 2 weeks, and we're going to be having Adnan Enriks back on the show, to talk us through how to do storage on Azure. The last time it was Adnan as well on the show, and Adnan is also a Microsoft MVP. He's from the Netherlands, so you can expect the very best from him. So let's do this again in 2 weeks. Thank you and bye-bye.